Cool. Let's do this. And now, the Wodcast podcast with athlete Armen Hammer.
Oh, what the fuck?
Smartass Eddie Ifft.
I'm injured today, guys.
And the giant copper Scotty McGee.
I just want to run around in a circle right now.
Giant copper. That's a good one.
The giant copper.
You're
dude.
like the Big Penny.
He's the big penny, dude.
Scott's
He's
the Big Penny McGee.
He's the big penny McGee.
I get
That
a new nickname every week.
that voice, I still prefer Scott Smith McGoober. That's my favorite one.
McGoober.
McGoober.
Squatty.
Squatty
Squatty
McGee. That's a good one too.
And now, Squatty McGee.
That voice, ladies and gentlemen, is the one, the only Kenneth Kane.
Good to be back.
Oh, he's back for a reunion show.
Good to
You're
be
not
back.
listening to the Positivity Project. You're actually listening to the Wodcast podcast.
The Wodcast podcast.
This is it.
And we are currently sans one Eddie Ifft, who is currently
Getting his pump on.
working out.
Yeah.
He will be here when he gets here,
Texted us telling us he's getting his pump on.
which is perfectly appropriate. I have a feeling we're going to get through a lot more in the next, whether it's 3 minutes or
Yeah.
7 or 28.
However long it takes for him to get here from his gym, which is 2 blocks away from here.
He's probably going to come limping back.
Yeah.
Which will remind us of old times.
Catastrophic ankle injury while doing curls. Very, very
The old
very
ankle
Eddie
plate.
Ifft. Yeah.
Of injuries of Eddie. So he's been pretty healthy though recently. Yeah.
He has.
Yeah.
It's been the lack of CrossFit.
Yeah.
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 It's been the lack of CrossFit.
Oh,
He's
no.
been surfing a lot.
His original love. One of the
his-
reasons
yeah.
why he started CrossFitting.
That's true. And and stand up is not a contact sport, so he's
Mhm.
been okay there.
Mhm.
Well, sometimes, depending on what his show is going like.
We're
Yeah.
gonna go see him tomorrow night. Hopefully he does. Well, I don't know. It's
Well, wait
hard
a
to s-
minute. You got invited?
Well,
Are you kidding me? Hold on a
oh,
second.
well, here's why. Because I was a guest on the show.
Oh, this is fucking bullshit.
Hey, the handshake.
This is fucking bullshit. He didn't.
No,
I
you guys
didn't
didn't
get
get
an invite.
How can this? You guys, it's good to be back. It doesn't
Hey,
need to
I feel
start
like
this
there's
so awkward.
Hey, I feel like there's an awkward line here.
Fucking.
Well,
God damn it.
So
you
if you
guys,
guys,
you guys didn't get invited to Eddie's.
No, he
No.
got invited.
No.
You got invited.
so if you guys don't know,
Machete's going. Chi-Chi's going to go.
Chi-Chi.
Chi-Chi's been a part of the team for like 4 weeks.
And he got the invite.
Well-
Fucking rookie gets an invite, and I'm not invited.
well, there's a certain celebrity status that is involved.
If
He's like, so
does the audience know what we're referring to right now? Eddie's other show, The Talking.
Yeah, so we've been talking about
Yeah.
how I haven't been invited for the past 3 weeks.
Oh, really?
And it
Okay.
hasn't been resolved, by
Oh.
the way.
Oh, okay.
well, because what Eddie always says, well, you have to be funny, right, and you have to bring something to the table.
Oh my God.
So I didn't know. Hey, so
Now
since
that
we-
makes a lot of sense.
since we're both talking shit alumni, when were you on?
I fucking hate you guys so much.
I don't actually remember. I have no idea.
Episode
Like,
2.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like a year and a half
No,
ago.
no, that was. I remember it was like that was the night they recorded a couple episodes. That night they had the porn stars on that night.
It was a
But
crazy.
it was a
Like I was
crazy
so
day.
glad I got out of there. I
Yeah.
mean, it was very debaucherous. and
Was that pre Oprah's nipple?
It was
Oh.
pre Oprah's nipple.
and the dogs agree.
All right. I feel like this is the part of the. Nope. It's
Oh,
just,
it's just fucking machete back. That's great.
And
Oh, here he is.
And there,
Ladies and gentlemen,
he
he's
is,
back.
Eddie Ifft. He loves it when I do that.
You look dazed, dude. Are you okay? What just happened?
Eddie, quickly get on the mic.
Yeah, get on the mic.
well,
Tell us what's going on. You
I don't-
literally
I don't
just
want you to
walked
get
in
your-
the door.
I don't want you to have your bearings yet.
So
We are. We're talking to you.
We're actually talking about you.
We were talking about you. We're talking about the fact that of the 3 people sitting on the couch right now, 2 of them have been invited to your show tomorrow, and not the 2 you would expect.
I'll give you a hint. The 2 good-looking ones.
It's fucking bullshit. You and I have our own podcast, and I wasn't invited to your other podcasts.
He's a professional comedian. He kills people for a living.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
there you go.
I just watch titties and ass. And what I mean is chest up, butt back is what I watch all day long. Squat, chest up, butt back. Deadlift, chest up, butt back.
Absolute-
Kettlebell
yeah.
swings, chest up, butt back.
Oh, so similar.
Mm-hmm.
Correlate methodology.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
All right, I'm
It's
gonna
nice.
I'm gonna take the turn back over to Kenny here.
Okay.
Have you missed us?
That was a pretty needy question.
That was awesome.
That was a very
I'm
needy
just saying.
That
question.
was awesome.
I
From
wanna
a
know-
230-pound man. That was.
Have you missed us?
Have you missed us?
Of course, I miss you.
Or
guys.
is it? I kind of the way I've been telling people like, oh, where's Kenny? I'm like, well, you know how like George Clooney was on ER and then he left to go do his spin-off show.
Yeah,
What was his spin-off show?
I think spin-off movies.
I was about to say. I was like,
whole movie
he
career.
went off to go like have the greatest movie career
Right.
and
no,
like
I mean,
hitting percentage with chicks of all time.
He went and did From Dusk Till Dawn.
he did, and did some other things. He did well.
Yeah.
Listen, of course I miss you guys. I mean, I'm friends with all of you guys independently and then collectively.
That's right.
And very much part of the foundation of the Wodcast. So, yes, you know, I saw some of the, and I don't know if there's been any sort of recent questions, and that might bleed into some other questions that you might have, but certainly I miss you guys. I had to leave to do my other show and focus on coaching. You know, I found that, you know, when I was on the show, I was with the juggling of the schedule and then with all the guests and all three of our schedules, it was almost impossible to. I was losing time to the things.
Priorities,
that I
dude.
Yeah, I was losing time to the things that I really cared about.
I don't understand. So I don't understand what you're talking about at all. So
Yeah.
So it's
Scott
good.
has no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
I
no
mean,
idea.
What do you mean juggling?
So as yet he yells bullshit from the other room. No, but here's the thing: is like I'm not far, and I see you guys all the time, so I don't really, you know.
Do you miss? I shouldn't say do you miss, but are you kind of like relieved of the responsibilities that you had on the show?
Yeah, because you know, on the last show, if some of the listeners are just kind of catching up, you know, I was on the show for a while and then left, and Armen and I did an episode. And we truly didn't. We had no idea what was going to happen like that week
no
as
clue.
of the recording of that podcast.
And I think that was I don't remember which episode it was, but it was I think your last episode was in March.
Yeah,
I think it was in
March or
like
so.
the late 60s. That's all right. Late
it was
60s,
the late
early
60s.
70s.
I'm 117. I just had my 43rd birthday yesterday.
43.
Yeah.
I'm 43
He's
now.
43
dude.
years old.
How old
43.
is Eddie?
I don't know, late 30s.
Hey, did you park in the usual spot?
Yes.
I've got your birthday gift in my car.
Oh, sweet.
Remember the cookie butter we talked about?
Wow.
I've got you
Okay,
a
so
jar,
that's
bro.
going to take me to another. Everybody was bugging me yesterday. Kenny, you got to eat some cake. You got to eat some ice cream or something. So I had some ice cream.
Oh, dude, why'd you do that?
It really messed me up, man.
Yeah, man. Listen, you can
It
run a
messed
4-minute
me
mile.
up.
You can have a
Like I had
a
2 scoops.
sub 20 Badger.
Oh.
Doesn't matter. A little bit of dairy
It's
and
terrible,
Kenny Kane's
dude.
down
I
for the
was
count.
Down, man.
That's Kenny Kane kryptonite.
Kenny
It
Kane
is.
kryptonite ice
Sugars-
cream.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie gets his
Sugar
back.
dairy.
It's
They
horrible.
can see me
man.
on the if they're watching us on YouTube,
yeah.
they can see that I'm back.
Is it streaming live right
Wait,
now?
we're being watched on YouTube?
We are being watched on YouTube.
It doesn't stream live, no.
It doesn't stream live, but they can see it. When will they see it, Chi-Chi?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Which is
Race fans,
Wrong
hot
camera.
rodders,
Time to
big
move
bad
around.
trucksters.
Time to
It's
move
the
around.
hottest show on cocaine.
Time to
Jesus.
move around.
This is just
Oh my god, he has more energy.
because he just saw the cameras are on. He's ready to do it.
he just
Oh, you just had to fucking
Why
awaken
would
the
you
dragon.
stir up the worst thing to stir up in the world?
Kenny's losing. He just drank a Kill Cliff.
Oh my god. Oh god, my balls.
Kenny, that's going to open all over the couch, and then you're going to have to deal with Lauren.
So, yeah, I miss you guys.
This doesn't
So
happen at the
clearly the
Positivity
cocaine-
Project,
yeah, no,
does
no.
it?
No, not at all.
Cocaine is only a
No,
quadcast.
So when
No, I've been listening to the Positivity Project.
So what totally. Jesse Burdick gave me so much shit about it. He's like, "Oh, so the Wodcast is going to be the fun one, and then you're going to do the boring one." I was like, "Effectively, yes."
But we're going to give you
Effectively, yes.
actually no factual information.
Absolutely.
Everything's based on conjecture
Right.
and
And
rumor.
a lot of opinions.
And
Yeah,
I just
totally.
call
and
everything
a lot
bullshit.
of opinion.
a lot of opinions. No, man. So,
My opinions are based in no fact whatsoever.
So when I left, we were just talking about this. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen with the show. Nobody knew what was going to happen with the show. And the most interesting thing to me is that the turn that Armen's had, and then within like a month, the sort of beloved sort of arms he felt within CrossFit, most notably Dale Saran, but then others as well. Which was very much, Scott. I mean, you're asking the question, I'll answer it sort of directly. Is that one of the reasons why I wanted to leave? Is that after a year of doing the show, I felt so much like professional pressure about what we were doing. We were getting so popular, yet we were having all these popular guests on. And then behind the scenes, I was getting a lot of heat from both the guests and from other sort of sources that was starting to wear on me.
The mothership.
If we want to call it that. And that wasn't directed towards me, it's towards the guests that we'd have. And at a certain point, that was starting to wear on me professionally. This is all something that I've shared with all you guys individually and collectively.
The Third Reich.
So
we have since righted the ship.
right. And that's to me, that's one of the most interesting, ironic sort of twists of this whole thing. One is
listen, I wouldn't say righted the ship. I think
Death Star.
the Empire, I think, is what you're going for.
No, the Death Star. Wouldn't it be the Death Star?
The Death Star is just one of their ships.
Oh, I thought
It depends on your perspective, though.
Wasn't it the big one though that
The
they blew
yeah,
up in
but-
the first one?
But the Empire is the name of the.
But the Death
yeah,
Star,
the
depending on your perspective,
regime.
could have been good.
Oh,
I don't think anybody.
that's really good to hear coming from a cop.
totally.
I don't think anybody saw that movie and was like, you know what the world needs? A giant world-destroying ball of doom.
Let's just take it from the perspective of a stormtrooper. I mean, that's ridiculous, dude. That's the first time I've ever heard
called
that.
the fucking Death Star. It's not called the Rainbows and Mobility Star.
Rainbows and mobility.
So,
Kenny, I want to thank you for when you retired from the show. You retired me too.
is that what happened?
You've listened to the episode before, right? That's totally what it
Kenny's
sounds
like,
like.
Eddie and I are leaving.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
what's funny is that you and I were talking about. We didn't know. We
I
didn't
totally
know.
forgot about that. Okay, let's
I'm
take,
getting all these messages. I'm going to miss you on the Wodcast. I'm
You're like, what the
I'm
fuck?
not leaving. I'm just going to be lazier.
But we were talking about it. We just didn't know what was going to happen. You know what I mean? It's just like, and now there's cameras recording.
Yeah,
this thing.
see,
It's
we're
crazy.
We're getting more professional here. Pretty soon, a studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just thinking, when we do the studio, we've got to do it totally different than talking shit. I think we need we should do it like Best Damn Sports Show, where we have 4 chairs. The guest gets a chair, and so we have like a circle.
We should sit on.
Yeah.
We should sit on yoga balls,
and we'll have a backdrop too, which will just be
bouncing on yoga
Totally.
balls.
it'll just
all
be
day.
porn
I'll
in the
come back.
background.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. Porn? You mean by porn? You mean like just weightlifting videos?
Yes,
Just
exactly.
Rich Froning.
Yeah.
or
shirtless.
just slow motion Camille muscle up videos.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Muscle and Fitness is used more than Victoria's Secret catalogs
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
for jerk
Oh,
off
for
material.
jerking off?
Yeah.
Oh, probably. By
That
CrossFit,
that
at
joke
least.
bombed. All right. You should have seen
Is
me.
that why you have all the
Should have
surf?
seen me last night. It was even worse.
That's why you have all
What, the
those.
benefit show was worse?
I did a benefit for
How could a benefit show be bad?
because it was for the people of the Philippines and the tsunami, and my opening joke was
oh boy.
Oh god.
I said it's good we're here to benefit the Philippines. Those poor people aren't going to be able to see the last Fast and Furious film because they've pulled it from the theaters, and it just boo right away. And I was like, oh, come on.
Is that because Paul Walker died?
Yeah.
Hashtag too
Wow.
soon, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
I love to go
I-
too
I
soon.
told- I
You
let
can't- there
every-
is no such thing as too soon.
Well, I let everyone know.
Is it like-
they're just not funny.
No,
Hashtag-
there's a comedian in Australia who did a joke when the day the crocodile hunter died. He did a crocodile hunter joke, and somebody goes too soon, and he goes too soon. I would have done that on the boat.
Well, kind of the second thing I said was maybe he was going. Put my sunglasses on. Too fast, too furious.
Yeah.
That was awful.
Yeah.
If only you had those glasses.
I just had the sunglasses.
Yeah.
the
I
sunglasses.
honestly though,
That's all you needed.
I said to my wife the other day when it happened, I said,
Oh yeah, Eddie's married.
I
Oh,
said,
yeah.
I,
Oh,
wa-
yeah,
I
that
wonder
happened.
if he. We were talking about Paul Walker, and they were telling the story, and they didn't tell much right away. And I said, and I wasn't even thinking about it. I go, I wonder if he was going too fast. And my wife just goes, and furious. And I went,
That's why
I
you
She
married-
too,
that's why you
she
married
too
her,
is a
dude.
comedian.
She's hilarious.
It was
dude.
very unexpected and
Don't
sad.
tell her that. Don't tell her
but
that.
She's funny.
You know,
Oh, don't tell her that she's
No, that's
funny.
very
I
sad.
think she's funny.
It's very sad. And you're a cop. Was he? Do you know anything? Was the car like going super fast or anything?
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
thing
I had
was
a feeling.
mangled.
Okay, yeah, that's what I had a feeling. Because anytime you buy a Porsche and you go, "Come on, I'm going to take you out and show you my car,"
well,
you're not.
so he was the
going
passenger, and the driver is a world champion race car driver.
Wow.
Who they together
Is it?
own their race team.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
Cars
it was
don't
really
just
wonky.
get turned into a ball of fire
Yeah.
for no reason.
Yeah.
So
Alright, cool.
that's a really positive note.
That's a
We're
great,
talking about
cool.
Paul Walker's
Wow,
death.
you've got a new Killcliff shirt. Where'd you get that,
Dude,
Scott?
so-
I didn't get one.
We were gonna wear the same shirt, and then give you another Killcliff shirt, and all three of us were gonna wear
A different one.
No, the same.
I got my. It's not
You got
that
a hip
serious.
fit
See,
on.
I usually wear the Hipford shirt, and he usually wears the Killcliff.
It's
We
amazing
switched
how
today.
Kenny left and we got all this sponsorship.
Yep.
Some things just work out that way.
Something. And then what else happened? We got more listeners. we got people like sending us messages to come on the show.
Yeah.
Haven't had a lack of guests.
At
And,
all.
and doesn't
We can't- but we-
headquarters listens
That's
now
true,
and
but-
Yeah.
responds?
But we can't market ourselves as a sleep aid anymore.
It's great to be back.
Hi,
Poor
Kenny.
Kenny.
I'm curious though. That episode you had with Armen, why did you think Eddie was done?
Oh, because we had conversations. Like, I don't know. I didn't.
Kenny and
I
just
didn't realize
sat there
that
and we were
I.
like, we hate Armen so
no,
much.
I didn't
we
realize
need to get
that
away
we
from
need
him.
to get rid of this guy.
I didn't realize that.
I won't have him on talking shit.
I didn't
Clearly.
realize that we had that I construed that as strongly as I did. Apparently,
Yeah.
I made it that Eddie was exiting. I didn't intend for anybody to interpret it as directly as
Yeah, I
that.
got like 3 tweets about Eddie leaving the show. I was really surprised.
Just 3.
All it was a conversation, Scott, that Eddie and I, multiple conversations, like we just didn't know what to do. Like it was like one of those things, like, do we continue this? Is it worth continuing? Because it does take a lot of time. And,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and so, I mean, that was fundamentally it. And I think Eddie was on the fence then. He was about to get married. And
So since you exited the Wodcast podcast and sort of like got the Positivity Project up and running, have kind of taken a much more kind of like time-consuming role as a coach, or at least upped your game as far as coaching goes. How is that stuff going?
it's going great. Like, I couldn't actually be more happy. There's an enormous amount of work ahead of me
Oh, yeah.
for what I've sort of cut out to do. And so I'm just starting to scratch the surface now at the beginning of, you know, our podcast for the project and then the training template itself and just putting that together and designing the coaching methodology. And then I'm taking over CrossFit LA effective beginning of January. So Andy's going to
Nice.
focus on the whole life challenge. And
What will your title be?
I'm head coach, and then we'll figure out how we're going to structure the deal. So it's like partner or head coach /
What would our
knower of Scott McGee. I'm not sure what it's going to be. But
And as I asked you
No
before,
word.
when do I get my key?
so that was the first thing Eddie said. He said, "Oh, when you take over the gym, when do I get my key?" Yeah,
I literally would
I
be
still
working
have
out
keys
there
to
at
CrossFit LA, by the way.
3:30.
Do you
in the
really?
Have you
morning.
guys changed the locks at
Yeah.
all? Yeah. Okay, then my keys don't work anymore.
yeah, for that reason.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because
That
I've
you
had
had
keys for
keys.
like 2 years.
Why? Would you go in and work out at like 3 in the morning or something?
No, I used to intern
Yeah.
for Andy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I would like he gave me keys one weekend. He was out of town for the holidays, and he gave us keys like to open the gym for open gym
Open
hours,
gym,
and he
yeah.
just never asked for him back.
That's what I wish somebody would open a CrossFit gym that was just
A key club?
No, just an open gym all the time, and you could go in and just use the stuff. And there were no classes going on, and you could just work
Well,
out.
give it time.
Well,
It's gonna
Seriously,
happen.
I
It's
would
gonna
I would
happen.
love
Yeah.
that because I really don't like partaking in the classes at all,
Mm-hmm.
and I like doing my own thing and not having to do what everyone else is doing and running my own schedule.
Yeah, but you're the minority though. A lot of people like the camaraderie and the teamwork.
A lot of
and the-
people do, but I think at a certain point you
yeah,
get
you
off
don't.
that.
Yeah, you don't to run a mall like that. You don't need 300 people. You know what I mean? You need.
You
90
have
people.
intrinsic motivation.
Mm.
Well, I think that's an interesting thing, Eddie. I think you represent like a minority, but it's also like every gym starts to experience this where people get a sort of an established skill set and then they want to sort of extract themselves for their sort of niche
Right, to
focus
specialize in what
and
you're doing.
specialize what they dig. And for us as a gym and what we're doing, I mean that's a huge business decision for everybody because that can really start to splinter your group. And that's one of the things that we had to respond to as a community and as a business. Like we created outliers within our own groups at CFLA. And I see as I travel and as you travel, you can see that. Now the problem I think with that is that A, people aren't engaged, and then B, people stop getting coached, and then C, nobody's really listening. It's just
That's true. That's
several
true.
several independent
Yeah, I mean,
organisms.
I will say that as much as I don't get I do follow and watch things. Like even when I'm doing something different, I'll see something I don't know and I'll walk over and pay attention to what they're doing because I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that, and that's really good information or whatever. And then I go back to fucking everything up on my own.
So, and so that's, you know, Armen, you asked, like, am I satisfied with what's happening? I mean, I couldn't be any more excited about what we're developing at CrossFit LA, and principally a lot of it has been charged by the training template and the changes that we've seen in our community.
How are all your athletes doing when they're on cocaine?
Phenomenal. Like any bit of compliance, if you look at retest numbers across the board, and every one of my macro cycles will test sort of different on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We do different modalities. So like Monday's usually a couplet of some kind. Elizabeth, Fran
Why are
are
you not
examples.
on his thing?
I just think that needs to be a soundbite. Armen going, how are your athletes doing while they're on cocaine? And then Kenny completely
Wonderful.
sincerely answering it,
Yeah.
making it sound like if that was just pulled out and we've
I
like,
almost like pointed that out, but like this is so natural.
I wanted it to.
You gotta
run
let it go. You gotta let it go for a little
and
bit.
I was like, this you should say ha 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 and then answer it because we are gonna pull that out.
You know what it is? He likes the KK, the TTs, and the PPs.
I do. It drives my coaching staff nuts because I've created such a nomenclature that it's confusing, and like the majority of our coaching meetings are about like, okay, what does this mean and how to discern.
Were you that
like,
kid in grade school that made up lots of words and stuff? And
I do. Like I love it. Like my apartment has got
apparently
3 whiteboards, and I'll just start programming, and I have an algorithm that determines what the cycle looks like, and it's based on the movements, and really the movements are, as you guys know, I mean, the basic fundamental. You're squatting, you're pulling, you're pressing, you're pushing, you're running and jumping sometimes. I mean, and there's some variations of that. But
do you call it the cocaine?
no, I call it the KK training template.
Come on, you got to call it.
I know. Listen,
there's.
I had some good names. Some of the Wodcast listeners actually came in with some good names, but
Coach Kane.
We haven't. You know, one of my clients is a lawyer, and she sent me like a 9,000-page document saying
you can't call it cocaine.
Protect that I can't call it the cocaine, and that I've got to protect this as intellectual property, and that's it. That's an endeavor that I'm not even.
So what's it called?
Is it like the iTunes
Kenny
agreement?
Kane training template. I don't know. I don't know how to understand all of it.
Yeah, like the iTunes agreement.
You're gonna have to hire a lawyer to like take your lawyer's shit and make it in English,
right?
For you,
right?
Like a second lawyer, like a level of lawyers.
And there's
a
another
lawyer inception.
There's another part of that. Like people do follow the programming that, and so I heard a story. There's a special forces guy that follows it, and he's friends with one of the guys at the gym, and he misread one of the things, so he wound up doing like 200 snatches, which I never programmed that much volume, like never. And he wound up.
It's only supposed to be 175.
Like an impossible thing to maintain on an interval, you know. And he's like doing, snatches at 75% on the minute for.
What was your question, Scott? You said was his name?
Oh, I was gonna say Eddie. Yeah.
No, because he said special forces. I'd be in the.
You are in the special forces.
I was just gonna say the really
special forces.
So
he does. In your program, it would be like 20 air snatches for time.
So
I do air snatches.
So yeah, I mean, the programming is going, and it's not just about the programming; it's about what we're trying to do at the gym. Like the whole thing that founded my training template was I got dissatisfied with the physical modality and just the myopic focus of physical adaptation. And I started looking at people that have been doing this for a long time. And I started going, you know what? A lot of people are just getting burnt out. And so much of the focus is on like, I got to go intense. And then there's something else that happens. People have to run businesses, and they notice that people like to stay, they like to come to class and get their value. So they need to get their ass kicked. Now people are getting their ass handed to them. And you got average people doing really, at your gym, you're doing outlaw for a while. I don't know if you're still doing that, but I think,
sort of.
Right. I think for a lot of people that may not necessarily be the most appropriate thing. And I'm not saying that outlaw is wrong. I just started looking at like this whole, the business of CrossFit and running it. It got away from the very principles that we all sort of appreciated at the beginning.
I think that was maybe a process they went through at my gym, especially because they were doing outlaw and then they switched it. They had advanced conditioning and whatever the the pussy conditioning is.
So that's like even on that, like I wanted to create a system that evaluated the development of people physically, but mentally and emotionally as well, because like the just the sole focus on going in and then egotistically crushing workouts serves a handful of functions, but it doesn't serve your life as a balanced human being. And so I wanted to create something that could sort of balance that and then allow somebody who is on the sort of the outlier side, an advanced athlete, to come in and challenge himself, because it is based on all my stuff's based on percentages. So like somebody could walk in and be challenged, but also understand like, hey, today the focus is going to be more on skill because we have.
But isn't that what scaling is? Because when we had John Perrin the other day, he was sitting here talking, and he was saying he wants to go for the games, he wants to win, and what that can do, and that like set up his family and blah blah blah, and take care of him. And I'm thinking, even though this sport is advancing, still at the end of the day, the winner gets $250,000, second gets what, like 5,000 or something,
50 grand.
50, and then it's like there's really still no money in this sport.
Very little money. Very little money. Yep, very
none.
little. Yep.
There's more money in ping pong probably.
I don't know if we talked about it on the show. Maybe actually it might have been before the show. I was talking to him about it. Is that like, let's just say he got third at the games, which was like, I think 30.
10 grand, 25 grand, 25
no, it was
grand.
more. It was more than that.
Oh yeah, they went up this year.
It was more than
30
that.
grand or something.
Yeah,
like that
I
this
think
year.
Val got 30. Anyways, 30 grand, third in the world.
Yeah, in the
And
world.
then let's say you break that down into taxes. Walk away with maybe what 18.
And you got to pay a coach.
And then, well, I don't know.
Treatment.
He just follows Ben Bergeron's.
Mm-hmm.
But we started laughing about like if you actually broke that down into like an hourly rate.
It's nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's
the
nothing.
time
It's
they're
sweatshop.
putting in.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's all sweatshop to sell Reebok's shit,
yeah.
right? Like the new Nanosage shoes, which are the lulziest things on the face of the planet. Inspired by a foam roller.
And then you're gonna burn.
Fucking CrossFitters buying CrossFit shit.
And you're
talking about the recovery shoes.
Yeah. It's out of fucking control.
Except for
The-
HipFit
I call
and
'em-
Killcliff.
I call them I call them they're the Recrocs.
The Recrocs.
The Recrocs.
No, but and you think if you're going to go into the games, you're probably going to burn out in what you got about a 5, maybe 6, 7 year at the most.
And then you go see Kenny Kane's positivity training template.
So, Kenny, but originally CrossFit, like the 100 words, the
Right.
fitness, elite fitness in 100
Right.
words, world class fitness in 100 words or less. It mentions like, really attacking these workouts, 5 to 6 days a week. How do you, in the training template, account for that? I know that you have like the.
I really
the
appreciate
training
that
days
question.
and you have,
I think people could be very alarmist when even thinking about the words that I just said prior to you asking the question. And my response to that is very simple. It is based. There is still 100% intensity, but under our training program, 60% of the days are practice days. So your intensity is on virtuosity. Your intensity is on skill. Your intensity is on learning something that can improve the quality of your movement, to then make the competition days or the mental toughness days that much more focused, A, energetically, and then B, you've also been honing your skill set to execute well when it's time to go. Now, and my point isn't to produce games athletes.
Sure.
I have zero interest in that at this point, like none. Like I don't want to do that. Like that. What interests me is helping people develop like a broad sense of fitness that goes way beyond the physical, where they get like, oh, I'm learning something. I can't come in here with the same attitude that I did a year ago, the attitude of I must crush this workout. They must take 2 steps back, emotionally, egotistically go, you know what? I actually don't know that. Maybe I can learn something about positioning. Or, by the way, my ego is way too fucking big. I've got 25 pounds more on this bar than I need to. I need to drop it. Why? Because a coach is in my ear. Because I'm rounding my back on a squat.
And this is a question I actually have. Do you see greater improvements with somebody that's, let's say you bring somebody in that's been CrossFitting for, say, 2 years, or versus a brand new person that's new to CrossFit?
So if we were to look at the 3 cycles that we've completed, we'd have to break that down into compliance, like who's primarily compliant. The more advanced athletes are compliant, meaning they're doing the program five days a week. Now, most of those athletes who I'd say are on the higher end at our gym, And again, these aren't necessarily games athletes. You know, all of our games athletes basically went on to open up Deuce. And so Logan and Lindsay and Danny and all those guys. We still have Zach, myself, and Andy. But Andy and I are dinosaurs. So that doesn't really count.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
We've seen your Velociraptor.
Thank you. And it's still very fast. So so I would say that the people who are sort of on the upper end have seen really significant gains this year in strength and conditioning. So they're seeing we'll do at the end of a week, we'll do Angie, they'll PR on that by 3 minutes. And then on a snatch and a deadlift on their strength days or the barbell days, they'll up both of those by, 20 pounds on the deadlift, 15, 20 pounds on a snatch. And then they'll knock down 2 minutes on their Elizabeth time. So we're testing, and then the Metcon day, the test is Wednesday, and we're seeing people drop 3 or 4 minutes at a time. So Scott, to answer your question, yeah, I'm seeing a significant gain for people that are advanced athletes, and I'm seeing equal gains to people that are new.
Now, how do you control for people who aren't working out on however cycle you program? So I'm assuming you follow the same old, not the old, but like what Andy was doing before, which is 5 on 2 off, is how you program.
Mm-hmm.
So, like...
Wait, you're 5 on 2 off?
Yep.
Okay.
So, how do you control for, like Joe Schmo who works out 3 times a week or whatever?
So good questions. There was some variables that we couldn't control this last cycle. For example, we had 23 people do a triathlon. What that meant is that they started focusing on doing some longer runs, doing some bike work, getting in the pool in lieu of following the template across the board. So we saw a little bit of dip in like CrossFit performance, but we saw them gain ability in their triathlon experience, many of whom who hadn't done that. So, as people do the cycle, we have people that will do 3 or 4 during the week. And then our weekend programming is it's I like to call it, and I don't mean this disparagingly, but it's CrossFit Light, effectively like big group classes where the weekend warriors come in who are only exclusive Saturday or Sunday. So they got to get their workout in. A lot of box, you'll see your, workouts that take 20, 30 minutes.
I want to do it. We should do it, Eddie.
I'll do it.
Do what?
I'll do it. It would be so good for me because I need my weekends off to surf.
Yeah, and even if you're like 60% compliant, like the weeks that you travel, if you're doing 2 of the workouts,
that's what it is. It's hard.
And it's meant for that. Though.
Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know though, because when I do travel, I go to the gym out of boredom. When I'm stuck in a hotel room,
right? It's
like an event during my day.
But
I get to go to the gym and get out of my hotel.
The way that I tell people to work with that when they're traveling, like going into another gym, effectively is a competition day.
Well, yeah, it is because you go into another gym and you can't say to them, "Hey, I'm going to do my own program."
Exactly.
They don't appreciate that.
Totally, and it's kind of disrespectful. And here's the thing: is that like you'll wind up traveling probably a little bit more fresh. You're not going to feel as beat up. Like I've never felt better personally.
Well, when you used to be on the show, I was doing Outlaw all the time, and I was a mess. My whole body was aching. I had like bursitis. I had tendonitis. I had anything with itis in it.
Right.
Urethritis. I don't know where it was. Anything that could inflame was inflamed. And now I took my name off the whiteboard. I never put up a score. I never start with everyone. I start at a different time so that I don't. I've noticed a lot of cheaters. A lot.
Probably the best thing you could do, though, Eddie.
And so
probably the best thing you could do.
Basically, I just remove my ego from it.
Yeah.
I scale if I need to. I'll just go, no, it's way too fucking heavy. I'm not, and I'm never getting hurt anymore.
Right.
And if I go, I want to surf tomorrow, I'll just stay off my shoulders and leave them alone and just don't burn out on it because I'm not. I'm CrossFitting so I can surf. I'm not surfing so I can CrossFit. So. And I see other people that are just, going full force and taping their wrist. And I'm just going, all right, I don't know what your ultimate goal is.
Who tapes their wrist now with the strength wraps?
Exactly. He's amazing.
Yeah, it's really important sometimes to just ask why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's all this programming out there. There's so many different options. There's what your gym follows. There's Outlaw. There's Invictus. There's OPT. There's Kenny's programming. There's like... there's all these different programs. There's SEAL Fit. And it's like, dude, you're not a Navy SEAL, right? You're not going to the games. And you're not a professional athlete.
Yeah.
So why do you show up to the gym and kill yourself? Like, why do you kill yourself every day? It's like, if the answer is, I like looking good naked, then it's like, there's a more efficient way of doing it without fucking killing yourself every day.
Absolutely.
And
I also think there's something to somebody being like the alpha in their own gym.
oh yeah,
that makes
apex
them train-
predator.
Yeah, that makes them train harder.
Yeah,
You know,
there's always that guy.
Well,
That's what I do, by the way.
there is a competition factor.
I
and-
prey upon my members.
No, but there is a competition factor that
Totally.
you get in there and you can't help it. You're like, you just see a guy and you're like, I want to fucking beat him, and or you look at the scores on the board and you go, I want to beat these scores. It's within all of us.
Yeah.
It's natural.
I mean, it's important. That's why it's important to have like a ringer on your coaching staff. So it's like you have like the regular people working out. When someone starts rising up, you just bring in the ringer, and they just fucking embarrass them, and then they put themselves in their
well,
place
that's
again.
that's what Glassman said about males, not just males, but mainly males in competition, and that being watched. And he compared it to if somebody's rowing, and their dog comes and looks at the screen, they row harder.
Yeah, that's totally true. That's totally true. I conduct that experiment like every weekend when I have people warm up on the rower. Like I'll look around, I'll be like, look at their time.
They
I'll like walk around and like automatically like a 7-second per 500 improvement
Right.
just because
Totally.
I'm standing behind them.
they say in skiing that moguls always end up under the chairlifts. Moguls are made from a lot of turns and snow being pushed to make moguls.
Yeah, because you're showing off for the people on the chair.
Everyone's showing off for the people on the chairlift, and they go there to be seen.
Humans are fucking crazy things,
and
dude.
it's horrible.
We're insane.
Interesting.
We're
Kenny,
horrible human
what time
beings.
do you have to exit? Stage left.
I have to be on the road at 7:10.
Oh, we got plenty of time. Let's cut to commercial real quick. Let's see what Kill Cliff's got to say about how awesome they are, and when we get back, we'll talk about our lightning round.
Yes, we will.
That was the best outro ever.
Yeah, there's a little bit of snap in there. You like
And it
the
was
snap?
good, and how awesome they are.
Yeah,
It was just boom.
thanks. Well, earlier in the show, I mentioned how CrossFitters spend way too much money on CrossFit.
Yeah, I
things.
know. That was probably not good.
Whatever.
Cut
Fuck
that.
'em.
Cut
Reebok-
this, Ernie.
Reebok
Cut
doesn't
this.
pay us. Whatever. Don't cut this.
I don't think Reebok really pays their athletes.
He doesn't. He doesn't cut anything.
I know
He
he
never
doesn't.
cuts anything. We say a bunch of shit all the time, and Machete's always like, "Oh yeah, I'll mark this." And all he does is switch to a different porn website on his on his laptop.
Machete's like our own honey badger.
Machete don't give a fuck. Hashtag. All right, so let's get into the lightning round. Scott, what do you have to say about our lightning round
I
today?
think our lightning round still this week is brought to you by Setwear Fitness, which is, if you guys know, I don't know if you guys have worked out with their belts just yet,
The
but
greatest belt ever.
it is. It's like it's the belt that we've been talking about. And it's a belt that's adjustable, and it's different than other belts because it has a little speed dial on it.
I got to put it on Kenny. I got to put the belt on Kenny.
Yeah,
He's
let's do
gonna
that
love
right
it.
now.
it's gonna be tighter than it's ever been.
So the belt goes on. You cinch it down, and then there's a little speed dial that you can crank up, so it gets the belt exactly to where you want it. And then when you're ready to loosen up, you just pull the release, and it gives you a little bit of pressure, so you can breathe a little bit.
right.
It also has a little groove. It's actually my favorite part of the belt. It has like a little groove that fits in right into the low back. So we got Kenny Kane from the Positivity Project trying on the belt right now. And if you guys are tuning into YouTube, you're gonna get an awesome crotch shot of Kenny Kane right now. So yeah, pull it down.
Yeah. Tighten it. Put it in there.
We actually
Put
need
the Velcro in there. Yeah.
extra small for Kenny.
And then start turning that fucking dial, B.
So is it pushed in?
Turn the dial.
So there you go. Start cranking it up. And so you feel it getting tighter.
Crank
So-
it.
So theoretically, you would keep
crank
pushing.
it. Keep going.
Yeah, just keep going.
Keep going.
So you could.
You need more tightness.
Kenny's like a balloon as you just twist it. No, he
so-
won't break.
So let's just say now, right now, you just got done doing deadlifts. Now you're gonna go run 800
And you just
and just pull that thing out.
Pull the
Pull
elephant.
it out.
Pull it like a man.
Like there you go. And
Oh!
you're gone
and now you run.
so fast.
you're the best runner ever.
So anyway, that's the Setwear.
Now you get
fitness
back to your
belt.
deadlift, you crank it back up.
So watch, you push the buckle back down and tighten it back up. There you go. Boom. Good to go. So anyways, you guys check out the belt. They also have really cool gloves at setwearfitness.com.
Have any of you ever used gloves doing CrossFit?
Yeah.
What did you use them for?
Golf gloves.
For what? Like muscle ups?
No, I was doing a competition that had like, it was a team thing and it had like a couple hundred pull-ups in
Yeah.
it, and I was like,
I mean, I just don't see why they would be bad at all.
gloves?
Yeah.
they're like, it's like cheat mode. It's
Is
like
it really?
just fucking
Yeah.
putting on. It's literally like taking steroids. I can imagine it's exactly.
I don't know why more guys don't
It
do
boosts
it.
my growth hormone. But so it's a lightning round, but we have a lot of questions
because we
here.
make fun of people who use
I
gloves.
don't care. It looks like it'd be awesome.
It makes things a lot. It makes some things really trivial.
Yeah.
honestly.
Eddie, your mic looks like a Yorkie right now.
Does it? There's so much fur on it.
So we have a lot of questions here. Our listeners provided actually some
One
some
more,
pretty
one more, one
mature-
more, one more question for Armen about the gloves.
Yeah.
Any other downfalls of the gloves besides looking like a douche?
No. They're I only had positives with them. I didn't think I did some barbell work with it as well.
Fine.
I thought it was totally fine. I did like toes to bar pull-ups and barbell work with it, and I didn't have any issues with
Do you
them.
have skin?
But I recommend golf gloves,
I just hate
Yeah,
tearing.
I love golf.
like super,
it won't
because
help,
like
it doesn't
cheap,
help with that.
cheap golf
Oh,
gloves.
you'll still tear?
Well, I didn't tear. I didn't have any issues with it. Cheap golf gloves are like a really thin leather, sometimes
Yeah.
like a thin synthetic leather.
Yeah.
And it just has enough grip, but you don't lose feel for the bar. Sometimes the gloves get too thick.
Have you tried the
Yeah.
Reebok gloves?
I have not, but they're basically like mechanics, I think,
Yeah.
which are like
Really thick.
car gloves. They're like
Yeah.
thick.
Yeah, I like golf.
Or like
if
baseball
I'm doing
gloves.
high volume
Yeah, the
pull-ups,
golf
or,
gloves are the best way to
like
go.
I did Lynn a week ago, and I had to wear them because you just end up doing
Or
like
just
200
using
pull-ups.
like kinesio tape.
Because I don't know if you guys saw Ryan Fisher's hands in that in his Facebook
Yeah, yeah.
posting.
That's after 9 hours of working out.
I don't
though.
care. It's just, why would you want that? Like, that just looks awful. I wrote on it, I said, your hands look like the bottom of a homeless person's foot. Like, I just don't
They do.
understand why
They do
you,
really look that
you know,
way.
you work on the rest of your body. Why would you injure your hands? Why would you want to do that? Put some fucking gloves
Actually,
on. or something.
I could have gone off on a tangent here about homeless people's feet. I have a lot of stories about that.
You have no idea how many
No,
homeless people
yeah.
he's had to
I'm
kill
actually-
because
I'm
of
gonna,
their feet.
I'm going to save it on that. but-
Okay, go with the
Oh,
lightning round.
Yeah, lightning round by Setwear Fitness. So, Chris Patterson, what do you miss most about no longer hosting the podcast?
What do I miss most about no longer hosting the podcast?
And remember, it's the lightning round. We're trying to get you out here on time.
Well, I miss the guys. I miss the guests. Yeah, that's a boring answer, but that's the truth.
Chopping it up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't miss raiding my kitchen and eating
Oh,
Lauren's
yeah, you
food?
always had
Yeah.
good treats.
Yeah. He still
That
does
I'm
have
like-
pretty good treats.
Dude, Eddie's fridge is
I don't know.
actually, I might
Lauren's
like.
been bad lately. She
Really?
is not, now that we're married, she's been slacking.
Well, yeah,
Really?
of course.
Yeah.
She hooked you in, dude. You're
Dude,
in.
she can cook, man.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving was pretty amazing. You
Yeah.
try the pumpkin pie. It's paleo
All right.
before you leave.
All
I
right.
miss the macaroons at your place.
Macaroons.
Oh yeah, that's right. The
Right.
macaroons were always
When Eddie
really
was
good.
traveling, we go to Kenny's and have the macaroons. All right.
Macaroons.
John Luisa, now that Armen
John Luisa.
is all grown up, how long before HQ longer raises an eyebrow at his general existence?
He's
know.
referring to Armen's existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to tell.
How long before they raise an eyebrow?
Considering
at his
I,
general
I
existence?
speak to the Russes on a regular basis, I think they're raising their eyebrows.
You're like a consultant now.
Yeah,
for
well, no,
CrossFit.
Russ Green will message me usually because I think he listens a couple weeks back because he'll message me about things that we talk about like a couple episodes behind, and then we'll like discuss kind of what it is that I meant or what his point of view is on it, and then it'll just go nowhere from there.
I like when they give us quotes on their social media.
Yeah,
stuff.
when they quote us,
Yeah,
without,
but then doesn't give us credit.
without giving us
Come
credit.
on, guys.
Oh, really?
Come on.
They've done that a couple times.
That's hilarious.
So John also continues. I've made some non-CrossFit people listen to the Positivity Project because of the universality of the message. Do you have an idea of how far of a reach you've had outside the CrossFit world?
Yeah, well, that's really hard to tell, and that's ultimately I want to go with the show. I want to go beyond the sort of the CrossFit world. My intent with it is to go even deeper than like the sort of the health and wellness field.
Just any performance, right?
Human performance, and how people are most connected to the things that they do and love to do, and how they contribute to our society at large. That's what I'm really interested in, like how people are making contributions.
Kenny's trying to change the fucking world, man.
Well, no, I mean, I'm interested in people who do stuff exceptionally and like how that impacts the rest of the world. Like that fascinates me. So, I've got.
When can I come on so then I can rub that in Armen's face?
Fuck you, guy, man. Fuck. Jesus. What the hell, dude? I'm never gonna be invited onto any other fucking podcast. This is bullshit.
yeah, but you got invited to a wedding. Someone didn't get invited. To.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's
Suck
true.
it.
There we go.
Whatever, I'm going to the next one.
Roundly replied.
So, Raf, if I'm saying your first name wrong, I'm sorry.
Oh,
well,
I
not
thought
sorry,
you were.
Raf
I
Pina.
thought you were saying laugh with a Chinese accent.
Oh, I rough at you. I'm a roughing at you.
Okay, what would you change about the last Wodcast podcast you hosted with Armen? And then he continues, how has your life changed since the last podcast?
Okay, we talked a little bit about this. I would change nothing about that. I mean, we were just dealing with the truth as we knew it at the time, and so there would,
not to interrupt you, but I actually looked up our episode list. And I think part of the thing with Eddie is that once you had that last episode, the next episode, Armen and I were interviewing people at regionals.
Mm-hmm.
And the episode after that, we were talking about the regionals like recap, and then the episode after that, it was you and I and Andrea Ager. So Eddie didn't come until
Eddie was
episodes.
out of town. He was in Australia.
Yeah, he didn't come.
It was like we had that episode with me, Kenny, talking about this. It was like the week you left for Australia, and you were gone for like 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So it was. I mean, there was like that's why it seemed so like.
Yeah.
That's why it seemed so like both of you. You know what I mean? Because you were gone, and Eddie and Kenny was like, "Well, Eddie's traveling a lot too," and I was like, "But guys, what the hell, guys? Let's keep hanging out. I have a lot of fun when we do this, guys. Please, guys."
What was the question?
So essentially, what would you change about the last Wodcast podcast you hosted? But I don't think anything.
Yeah, nothing. I think I'd just leave that as is.
And then William Davis, has your relationship with certain people in CrossFit gotten better since leaving the show?
That is very hard to tell. You know, the biggest irony there are so many ironies. Like the biggest of which is starting with Armen's relationship with the world. And, you know,
I keep my anger a little bit better.
You know, and that was always a strain for me because of like, you know, he was an athlete for me. He was like a little brother. People railed him, and I felt very defensive of him. At the same time, I have a very different perspective than Armen does, and I look at the world from a sort of a different lens. But I respect it. I respect people's differences, and I very much respect Armen as antagonistic as he was and as sort of mature as he's become. And so that's it. So the biggest irony is that as soon as I left, one of the very reasons why I had to leave is because I was just tired of like feeling like people are just on that show, man. It's great. People love it. But you know,
that guy,
it's a thing. It's bad. It's evil. It's like, no, it's not. We're just having honest conversations about CrossFit, and there are different perspectives on the show, but you know what? They're just sincere. They're honest and they're authentic. And what's funny is that as soon as I left, it was like HQ is like, yeah, that guy's all right. And
did I tell you what happened when we met Dale at the games?
Yes, I did.
He literally gave us the shirt off his back.
I know.
Literally. Like
I know.
He took his shirt off.
I know.
We traded shirts. He gave me the shirt off his back.
And so it's really, you know, that to me is one of the greatest ironies. And again, it's not something that I'm bitter about, but it's one of those things that it's frustrating, you know, when something like that happens. So
I think to easily sum it up, if there was a difference between Kenny Kane and I, if I was to start my own side podcast, it would be called The Negativity Project. And it would be about how everybody's ruining fucking everything.
And that's my life.
And you're all dicks.
You would have 20,000
and I would be making
more the
millions
listeners.
of dollars
Totally.
on this negativity project.
Who was
Trademarked,
who
by the
was-
way.
I
I'm
was,
doing that.
I was with a comedian the other day, and we were talking about it because my wife says I'm too negative, and myself and the other comedian were talking about, Chris Wilde and I, who does talking shit all the time. We were surfing, and we were talking, and he goes, yeah, you're negative about everything. I go, but it's so much fun. Yeah. And he said, yeah, comedy is based in negativity.
Sure,
Oh, yeah,
it's
for
hard
sure.
to be funny and be positive.
Sure.
And I have so much fun being negative.
Right.
So much fun.
It's
The
also easier.
The funniest positive comedian. I know Eddie's probably gonna be like, he's not fucking funny. What a hack! Is Brian Regan.
Brian Regan's
Brian
hilarious.
Regan's fucking
Brian's
so
amazing.
funny, and
One of the-
everything
amazing.
he does is super positive.
One of the funniest guys in the world.
Yeah.
But no, he's not.
One of the greatest-
Positive.
Really? No.
One of the-
I thought
No,
he was
all
pretty
stuff's
positive.
based in negativity.
It's rooted, but it's
He's a
it's-
positive person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his
Oh, yeah, okay.
energy's positive.
There's a
Actually,
different way.
talk to him about why he's never had a sitcom. See him be positive.
Yeah, exactly. That's a whole separate thing.
Yeah,
But he's done so much better. He actually gave me one of the best. After one of my shows, him and Wendy Lieben were there, and after one of my shows, he started doing some of my act, which was the
That's ironic, seeing that everyone's doing his act.
Yeah, right.
See so many comedians doing him.
It was funny. It was
Right.
very humbling.
Hold on.
If you
Josh-
don't know who he is, look him up. He's probably one of the top 3
Absolutely.
living
yeah,
comedians right now.
he's great.
Brian
He
Regan.
really has his craft down.
the
We have to-
best.
John Tallman has probably the best question. Now that Kenny is gone, how do you fill the emptiness in your life, Kenny?
Macaroons primarily.
Lots of cocaine.
Lots
I
of
think.
cocaine.
and monkey fucking.
Here we go.
and his own show.
and my own show. No, I listen. I've got.
Do you still have machete?
Of course, got machete. You
Yeah,
don't do.
he
You
took
don't,
you traitor. He
you
goes
don't do a
everywhere.
show.
Fucking guy.
Remember when we had to like cut our show short?
Yeah, because Machete, one time we were recording and Machete was like, guys, we've got to be done by like 6:30. It's like, why, dude? Oh, Kenny booked me. It's like
Kenny
3
stole
weeks after Kenny.
Kenny
It's 3
stole
weeks like
Machete.
after Kenny's done with the show. Like, dude, what the fuck? That was fast.
Machete's been with me on every episode of Talking Shit. We've been together now almost 300 episodes, and on his Twitter handle or something, I just noticed today it says like Ernie Hurtado. I engineer and produce many of the podcasts you listen to, and I was like, what? What? You're known as Machete from Talking Shit, and all these other ones are. And he's like, no,
He's got a Twitter?
Yeah.
This guy's famous. He gets recognized. He called iTunes to correct a problem. We had a problem with our show got taken down again for something we did, and he calls up and the guy on the phone's like, "Oh, what show are you talking about?" He goes, "Talking Shit," and the guy goes, "Is this Machete?"
What the fuck? Are you serious?
He gets recognized.
Famous guy.
He does. He does
Yeah,
get
famous
recognized all over.
guy.
Totally.
I wanna
we
continue-
answered a couple of these questions.
Well,
already.
William Davis, the second part of his question is, from looking from the outside, do you feel the podcast has been better embraced by the community lately?
I would imagine so. I don't know.
I don't think you
I'm
pay
gonna
attention.
I'll be honest. I haven't listened to a single episode since I've left.
That's
I mean,
okay.
that's just 100%.
That's fair.
Neither have I.
I haven't. Me neither. Whatever.
You know,
I barely listen, and I'm here. I'm on the show.
Right.
Neither is Machete. And
Yeah.
he edits it.
Machete technically edits the show, and he hasn't listened to a single episode.
By the way, of all of us, there's probably people that like each of us, and there's people that hate each of us.
For sure.
Nobody hates Machete.
No, of
nobody.
course
You
not.
can't hate
Nobody
Machete.
hates. On Talking Shit, it's the same thing. Not one person hates Machete.
You can't hate him.
It's not fair.
He's
Can't hate
unhateable.
Machete.
Armen, take care of Travis Gates.
Travis wants to know, our boy T Gates, wants to know, now that you've been away from the Wodcast podcast for a little bit and you have some time to think about it, fuck, marry, kill, me, Scott, Eddie. And he calls us Hammer, Squats, and I ran track in college.
Cool, good one. Okay.
I hope you're fucking Scott.
I don't think he will.
Scott's the only one durable enough to take the fucking Energizer Bunny
know
style
what?
humping that Kenny would put
I
on.
don't. You know what? I'll tell you right now. Before you answer, that he won't say that.
I'll bet I'm getting killed.
Okay.
No. I bet you won't.
No,
fuck me.
I'm curious now.
No,
let's
let's. I know exactly
not poison
who
the
I'd
well.
fuck.
All
I
right.
know exactly who I'd
Let's hear
marry.
it.
I know exactly. But I got to hear from you guys first. What's your
No,
speculation?
Well, what I
Hey.
think that you would say.
This
Yeah.
is the lightning round.
What I think you would say is I think you'd kill Scott because he's dangerous.
Okay.
There's no way.
I think you would fuck Eddie, and I think you'd marry me.
Okay. What do you think, Scott?
Scott,
And he's putting the belt on for
looks like-
protection.
I think you'd fuck Scott because he would know how to do it right from all his time dealing with prisoners.
I didn't think about that angle. That's a good point.
He would treat you like a woman. I think Armen would watch.
Fuck it. Why not?
And no, I think you'd kill me just because it'd be funny. And I think you'd marry Armen just because you'd.
Eddie Ifft is the winner. I would fuck Scott, but as a man. I would kill you and I'd marry Armen.
Dude, opposites attract. Kenny and I are made to
know?
be together.
Yeah.
knew
I thought
was
you.
getting
I thought
killed.
for sure you'd fuck Eddie because he's a squealer.
I grunt.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. There it is.
Thank
All
you,
right.
thank you, Travis Gates.
This show is not safe for work.
Yeah. Actually,
No.
people always like write in or send us messages or tweets like, "You fuckers,
You
you almost,
listening to this
you
in
almost
the
made me
office.
crash my car."
Let's see.
Okay.
That's my favorite. That's
Carl-
my favorite message when people say I was laughing so hard I almost crashed my car,
Yep.
and I just can't wait till somebody goes, "I was laughing so hard I crashed
My
my,
car."
car."
Yeah. It was Paul Walker. And
I wasn't gonna say.
Heyo.
I'm
Too early?
All right, R.I.P. So Carl Zahosky, what did you honestly think would happen to the Wodcast after the final episode?
I sincerely had no idea. Like I thought that it would keep going because Armen was really interested in
nothing better to do.
he was interested in keeping it going. So I thought there was enough there, and Armen's enough of a personality to keep it going, you know? And
Jeez, don't beat her up.
Positivity project. Positively
Just
fucking
abuse my
abusing
dog.
a pet.
No,
Stop
don't,
it.
Don't.
And we had talked about it as well. And I had like,
I'm glad Chi-Chi's going tight with that angle.
Dude, I'm glad he's fucking Scott. Did you see that?
I don't know. He's. Oh, you're gonna have to. You guys are gonna have to tune into our YouTube channel for that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch this one. Chi-Chi, did you get that whole thing? All right, good.
I'll take Kenny's.
Oh my god.
Kenny's a spinner.
Oh shit.
Jeremy, Jeremy Lesniak, we answered your question. Has the podcast gone the way you wanted?
I like Dale Hasen's question. He says, Kenny, you tend to be quite hard-hitting in your Positivity Project questions. Do you warn your guests that you're going to ask very emotionally in-depth, blunt questions?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
You like to catch them off?
I just like to. What I really try to get to is to, what's at the heart of each of these guests. And sometimes if I don't feel like I'm getting a deep enough answer, I'll drive a little bit more.
Yeah, of course.
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do the show is to be able to get in there a little bit more.
Let's see. Gordon Wagner, our good friend, wants to know, has Dat Fan ever returned a phone call since he was on the show?
So, Dat and I remain good friends. I continue to omit that I'm very good friends with Eddie Ifft in that particular relationship.
Anytime he brings it up, you're like, yeah, fuck that guy. You're totally right.
No, never backstab.
I'd totally kill that guy if I could.
never backstab him, but just certainly just don't bring up Eddie a lot.
There you go.
Is there a guest?
But it is funny to bring up Dat in front of Eddie because it's just funny.
Gordon, continue. Is there a guest the Wodcast had on recently that you would like to have interviewed, but you don't pay attention to our show, so you wouldn't know? We've had some awesome guests, by the way.
I know.
Well, how do you? You don't pay attention.
Well, I know.
He just knows, dude.
I know.
The Kenny knows.
I'm omniscient.
And then he also follows up his third question with, does Eddie share any of the profits with you from selling the I don't do cocaine, I do Coach Kane t-shirts?
I think
you don't have to tell him that we make those.
You know what? I'm a very giving man. It's in service of the Wodcast podcast. I see none of that. But I get some pumpkin pie.
There you go.
Apparently.
He pays you in pumpkin pie.
We should make those shirts.
Yeah.
Right?
We really should.
Yeah.
Eric Lancaster wants to know,
Eric Lancaster.
how much do you miss Army Bear? Why is the name of your new podcast so long? And who's been your favorite guest so far? And he specifically asked me to ask all three of those questions in quick succession, just like you do on your podcast.
Okay, Army Bear. I've already answered. I do miss Army Bear, but
Army
Bear
Bear
is
misses
coming
you
to my sweatsuit dance party. for my
Goddamn
birthday.
right I am.
For those of you that are in the LA area,
I can't make it.
and I know this is gonna be
Fuck
one of the
you,
first
you're not
you missed.
invited.
I was there the past couple years.
Eddie,
Were you?
so for the listeners out there, every year for my birthday, I have a sweatsuit dance party, and it is amazing because
You're all invited, by the way.
Eddie is the only person who doesn't show up in a sweatsuit. It's awesome. Like everybody's decked out in sweatsuits,
And I stand far on the fringe.
He stands in the car. He goes. He just.
And last
You're
year,
that
was
guy.
it last year that it happened? That I came in and the nightclub that he has it, and the guy goes, "You're gonna have to take your hat off." And
That's right.
Yeah, this is a great.
That's
This is
right.
a great
and I
Eddie
said
story.
no, and the guy said you have to, and I said I just had brain surgery, and I have a massive scar on my head, and he said I don't care, you got to take it off. I go, it's oozing pus, and the guy was like, I don't care, you have to. I go, get your manager now. And the guy went and got the manager. And I saw him talking to the manager, and she's going, I don't want to talk to him.
She's had brain surgery.
I saw a guy wearing a hat like that, and I saw the staples coming out around the back of his ear.
Oh man.
Yeah, I didn't want. Well, I mean, I didn't have that, but I just.
He was lost. He was breaking into some car. I thought it was he was his. They didn't connect something when they closed him back up. Anyways.
So wait, what was the second part?
The second
Army
part
Bear?
is, why is the name of your new podcast so long?
Well, I'm a multisyllabic kind of guy.
I can
Next
tell.
question.
And who's been your favorite guest so far?
My listen, we've had
Coach
some
Divine.
awesome guests, but it
Ooh.
starts and ends with Coach Divine.
What about
There it
Bobby
is.
Williams?
I could have told
Bobby
you
was unbelievable. Bobby destroyed that episode.
I
But
want to have Bobby on the Wodcast.
oh, you got it. I mean, he is
He's a maniac.
the most interesting interview.
All right, guys, we got 5 minutes to get through these last.
Okay, go for it.
Sean Doherty, do you guys still work out together sometimes? And does Kenny still cherry pick?
Did Eddie start this cherry picking thing?
Okay, so yes, he does, and yes, we do. Armen and I work out together.
Whoa!
And
time out.
moving
Whoa,
forward, Garth
Kenny-
Willoughby.
Kenny's not happy about the whole cherry picking
No,
thing.
listen. I don't mind joking around, but I also like truth, and that is not true.
Okay, not true.
Kenny doesn't cherry pick, guys.
Kenny used to call me at like 7 a.m. on Saturdays, knowing I was shit faced about 3 hours ago, and it would be some high Metcon thing that you knew you'd beat me by like 20 minutes. And you'd
Eddie,
be like,
I beat you at everything.
And
I
you
know.
Oh shit!
no.
And the truth is revealed.
How about the power
How about the
power cleans power cleans GHDs? I dusted you.
You did. Okay, you got me on one.
And then our good friend Garth Willoughby. Who is Kenny Kane? Just kidding. Haha. Does he follow the show? No.
No.
I
Thanks.
follow you guys as people.
There, that's good enough.
And why or why not?
Time.
Garth wants to know.
Time. I mean,
All right.
it really is. It's a function of time.
All those
Like-
times I picked you up at the airport.
I know, but if I were to choose Sons of Anarchy or a Wodcast, I'd probably go Sons of Anarchy.
Wow.
That's fucking bullshit.
Wow.
I mean, listen, if
Is
you guys
that your
do
show?
it,
That's what you watch.
I like it. I like it.
We're not going to read Sean Doherty's because it's too nice about Kenny. Since he doesn't follow our show anymore. No, he says it's awesome to have you back on the show. I love hearing your insights on things, and you are sorely missed every episode. Hope all is well in your
Oh,
life.
see?
Ricky Price asked an interesting question. What made you choose that song for the Positivity Project intro? What song do you use?
Stevie Wonder.
And do you have the rights to that?
I just called to say
Sing it, Armen.
I love you.
Hang on.
Is that the song?
Hey, Machete, is that legal?
Higher.
What, us singing it? Or
No,
Yeah.
Stevie
Stevie Wonder, Higher Ground.
I'll
is what-
explain to you.
Oh, that's a great
It's a great song.
The
And that's-
bass line for that
Oh,
song.
dude, it's just amazing. And, that's effectively what the show's about. Like, reaching a higher ground.
You're not going to go with Eric Clapton's Cocaine.
No.
Oh, that would be way
No,
better.
I could be good for interstitial.
And then
Driving
Ricky
that
Price.
train,
A couple
High
people.
on Coach Kane.
A couple people have written in. I guess people want me to finish the story of the time that person came into my house in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
You have
They-
three
They
sentences.
came back
go.
like 5 times.
No, I know. We're gonna have to. Well, we'll finish it next time.
No, tell us. What ultimately happened?
One thing led to another, and Scott killed someone.
I
All right,
did.
Let's move on.
They were at the front of the door,
And then
kept
I
coming
fucked
back.
Wait, they were at the front of the door. Yeah, why didn't you go out the back door with your gun and come around the corner?
That's called a bold flanking maneuver.
yeah, why didn't
A
you do a bold
bold
flanking?
flanking
Why didn't
maneuver.
you do the bold
I
flanking?
did.
And then?
I cleared. There was nobody else there. I put the bead of a rifle on the person's head, and then I waited for them to leave and stayed in. Eventually, when they went down the street, I went.
He had a
down.
rifle, not just a gun.
Did you?
A
Have you
rifle.
has he told you the story?
Yeah.
on-
But they
okay.
kept coming to the door. And then what happened? Where did you say, "Hey, what are you doing"?
No, not there. There's no way to I don't want to blow my cover, if you will. if I
Right,
don't have to.
right.
So once they were down the street, I went down and had a little chat, and it turned out that it actually turned out to be a female who was really kind of cuckoo, and was looking to get in, essentially into somebody's house. Like the door was open, she kind of just wanted to go in because she was cold. She's crazy.
Oh, okay.
So luckily, it turned out to be okay.
Probably slept with Kenny.
And then,
Yeah.
dude, this guy's name.
Oh, I
I'm
have the
so
answer.
Fucking sorry.
Okay, I have the answer. Try to say his name, and I'll tell you how to say it correctly.
Some Harold Branoff.
Sorley Branagh.
Sorley? Shut the fuck up. There's
Sorley-
an H and an M in that name.
So Sorley Branagh wrote in. We had a conversation about how you keep fucking his name up, and then he says that
Sorley?
usually goes by Sam or Ease. So Sorley Branagh.
Where are you from, Sorley? Message us and tell us where you're from, because this is ridiculous. Are you Scottish? He's got to be Scottish, right? There's some weird
Either way,
fucking words.
he
in
has
that.
a non-CrossFit related question.
Mm-hmm.
He has looked high and low for the video of your Velociraptor routine. He can't find one to buy or steal. Where can he find the video of your routine? And
I
are you
have it. I have it on video somewhere. I filmed it.
Eddie's got it. Was that when we were working Vegas?
I'll look on my hard drive. I might have it somewhere, and I'll
Yeah.
put it up on
Put
the
that shit on
Wodcast
YouTube.
page.
Yeah, we'd love to see it.
I've done some from theater shows. I don't know if I have any. Somebody's got video of it somewhere. I just don't know where it is.
It's
So
pretty
Kenny,
awesome.
Kenny, I have a question.
Yeah.
So if Eddie and I wanted to follow the
Yeah.
KKTTPP,
Mm-hmm.
where would we go, and how does that work if we want to follow your programming?
And is it wrong if I call it the KKK?
Eddie, you call it what you're gonna call it. Listen, you can just follow the website.
Well,
we're starting
What website is it?
CFLA.com, and then we're starting cycle 4 at the beginning, second week of January. We're doing.
Is that bad that
a
we would
microcycle
start
right
in
now.
cycle 4 and not like from cycle
No,
1?
not necessarily. There is a progression, but you guys are pretty advanced. There's a progression. There's a muscle up progression that starts in cycle 1. We get to muscle ups in cycle 4. So everything's thought of a year in advance. So I program. I take 20 workouts, and I think like, okay, how do we advance people, general population, as far as we can along these lines. So
Can I just interrupt this real quick? Live update on fantasy football. I'm beating the fuck out of Keith Kimball. You hear that, Keith? 84-77. Not going to happen today, buddy. I'm going to win. I'm going to get a W. I'm going to get a big W.
And if you like playing fantasy football, go check out DraftKings.com and use the promo code Eddie.
Wrong show, fucker.
Damn it. I loved how Kenny was looking at you.
Like I actually had something to
No, he was
to
looking
apply?
at you, and after this whole show and everything that you've done, you've grown up, he's been so proud. And then when you're talking about fantasy football, he was looking at you with like a little bit of embarrassment and like
Dude,
awe.
Negativity Project. I'm telling
Yeah.
you. It's starting
He
next
was
week,
looking-
the
Well,
Negativity Project.
He was looking at you like, oh man.
well, part of it was just the complete lack of listening to the response, and then B, the focus on the phone, and then
fantasy football, dude. It's
then
really,
interrupting
it's really important.
with-
Life
with
stats.
fantasy
Armen
football-
keeps interrupting the
Fantasy-
show about his
fantasy-
fantasy football stuff.
Fantasy football's big here, and if you want to get free entry into the Millionaire Grand
Oh,
Final,
come on.
enter Eddie today at DraftKings.com.
so
Oh,
good.
shit. All right,
So
so
good. Yeah, we
Kenny,
need to
I know
wrap
you
this
got to
up.
get going. Real quick, where can people find you if they want to talk to you?
So the easiest, I do got to get going. The easiest place to find me is email me at kenny@kennykane.com. I just started Twitter, guys. So no. This time's it's
about time.
Yeah, and that's at the Kenny Kane, and on Facebook, Positivity Project. Kenny Kane, you guys can
He's
find
trying
me.
to put his shoes on. Hold
Yeah.
that for me.
Okay. Oh, sweet. Do we take a
look,
picture
yeah.
with Kill Cliff?
Normally we do this in the beginning.
While we're gonna
Okay.
take the picture while we're saying the rest
Yeah.
of the things.
Right here.
Guys, make
Right
sure
here.
to
We're doing
look at the
we're doing our Kill Cliff toast at the end of the show instead of the beginning.
look at the Facebook.
Mazel tov.
Facebook.com/Wodcast Podcast. Hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at Wodcast Podcast. Email us, wodcastpodcast@yahoo.com. Find Eddie Ifft at Eddie Ifft and Scott McGee at Scott McGee.
And if anybody is ever visiting the Los Angeles area, please come on by CrossFit Los Angeles and visit me and our coaching staff. We'd love
Give Kenny a big hug. He
we
loves
love
hugs.
visitors.
And don't warn him first.
We
Just
miss
hug
you,
him.
Kenny. We miss
you guys too. Love you guys. All right,
All
thanks
right.
for having me on.
I would
guys.
say I'll see you tomorrow night, but I'm not invited, so fuck you guys.
But I'll see you Saturday night for my
Yeah,
birthday
you
party.
will. All
You
right.
have your sweatsuit picked?
Not yet. I have to
Machete,
go.
you coming to the sweatsuit dance party?
I got to go velour.
He's
You're
He's
invited now. You got a sweatsuit? You got it on now.
Oh, Saturday! It's Saturday. night.
Saturday.
Yeah, it's Saturday night.
Oh, I'm not out of town.
Sweet.
No, I'm at the Almost Acoustic Christmas.
Oh.
All right.
All
right, thanks for listening,
I'll
guys.
be with
too,
the Kings
buddy.
of Leon.
Okay.
Later, guys.
Backstage passes.
You really?
Yeah.
Let's take a quick picture together.